Hello and welcome. My name is George and my channel is all about helping you record and produce your best music in your home studio. Today we're going to be looking at 3 of my favorite microphones for recording vocals. So let's jump in. The first microphone I want to talk about is the trusty Shure SM58. Now I like this microphone for a variety of reasons, but mostly for its versatility and for its affordability. This microphone goes for about $100. If you're a vocalist who also performs live and not only in the studio, then you probably already own this microphone for that reason. It's a very robust microphone that's not going to break easily. If you do happen to drop it and dent the screen, these are very cheap and easy to replace. One of the reasons these microphones are so popular in a live setting is because these are dynamic microphones with a cardioid pickup pattern. This means it does a great job of rejecting unwanted sound when on stage. And this is going to help reduce the chance of creating feedback as well. Now in your home studio, as long as you're recording using headphones, you won't have to deal with feedback as much. But if the room you're recording in isn't soundproof or sound treated, then you might have to deal with some unwanted noise coming from elsewhere in your home. And that's where a microphone like this can come in handy, both in helping blocking out unwanted sounds if there's noise happening outside or something like that, but also just help reducing the amount of room sound you hear as well in your recording. If you have a really reverberant room, that can sometimes get picked up in the microphone and you'll be left with not a very clean recording of your vocals. These microphones also have a built-in pop filter. So you'll notice there's this grill on the microphone, so that's going to help cut down on plosives, but there's also some foam underneath the grill that's going to help with that as well. Now if we take a look at the spec sheet, here you'll be able to see the frequency response curve. And you'll see that there's a slight boost in the lower frequency range here. You also notice a boost in the top end here and a bit of a dip and then a drop off. Now in mixing, a lot of the times I'll find myself EQing out a few dB in the lower frequency range and also applying a little bit of a boost in the 1K range around here. So if you're looking for a mic that's going to be great on stage and in the studio, then get yourself a Shure SM58. The next microphone I want to share with you is the Rode NT2A. This microphone goes for around $400 to $500, and this is a condenser microphone. So in comparison to the SM58 that I showed earlier, this is going to capture a lot more room sound. Now on the one hand, it's going to help capture all those great details and subtleties of your voice. But if you're not in a treated room, then you could be getting a lot of that reverberant sound that I was talking about earlier into your recordings. You'll also want to make sure to use a pop filter when you're using this microphone. Using a pop filter is going to help cut down on any plosives. So those are going to be the big bursts of air from your P's and your T's, for example. One of the things I really like about this microphone is that it offers you 3 switchable pickup polar patterns. So generally when you're recording vocals, you're going to leave this set in the center position on the cardioid mode. So this means that sound is going to be picked up from the front of the microphone. Now you also have the option of setting this to omni, which means that the microphone is going to pick up sound all around the microphone. And then you've also got a figure 8 pattern, which means sound is going to be picked up from the front and the back of the microphone, but reject the sides of the microphone. So you have a lot of options of how the sound is going to be picked up from the microphone. You've also got 2 additional set of switches here. In the middle, we have a high pass filter. So this is used to filter out low frequencies. So we can either set it to filter out 40 hertz and below, or at the very top, 80 hertz and below, or we can leave it flat at 0. When I'm recording vocals, I'll usually have the high pass set at 80 hertz, and that'll just filter out any low end rumble that might have ended up in the recording. These are frequencies that I would EQ out anyways in the mix, so I might as well just do it right from the microphone. And then the last set is a pad. So again, we have 0 unchanged, and then -5 and -10. So this is just going to reduce the amount of gain you're getting from the microphone. When recording vocals, you would just leave this at 0. But if you're recording a guitar amp, for example, and you're still peaking, even with your preamp turned all the way down, then you can use the pad to bring down that signal even further. This microphone is also very versatile on different instruments, such as acoustic guitar, for example. It sounds great. Also strings. And you can also use it on guitar amps. When miking guitar amps, I usually use it as a second mic just to pick up some of the room sound and place it a little bit further away from the guitar amp than I would my main microphone. And now the spec sheet for the Rode NT2A. You can see the 3 different polar patterns that we have available to us with this microphone, and as well the frequency response for those polar patterns. So you notice on this mic, on the cardioid, we have a bit of a boost in that low end, as well as a boost in the high end. So this is a fairly bright mic, but I find it very pleasing and not overly harsh. If you do start boosting a lot of the high end with EQ, well, then you may have to look at using a de-esser to help tame some of those S's. But with that bit of a boost in the higher end, that's going to help give you a nice, crisp, and clean vocal that's going to cut through the mix. So if you're looking for a versatile microphone that captures a lot of detail that you can use with multiple instruments, then get yourself a Rode NT2A. And the third and final microphone I want to share with you is the Shure SM7B, which is this microphone right here. This microphone goes for around $400 to $500, and similar to the Shure SM58, this is a dynamic cardioid microphone. So this microphone is also going to capture a lot less of that room sound than the Rode NT2A would. Now, one thing to be aware of with this microphone is it does require a lot of gain on your preamp. And Shure recommends that you have a preamp that's able to have at least 60 dB of gain. A lot of people online will tell you that you need to purchase a cloud lifter like this to operate this microphone. And that's not entirely true. What this cloud lifter does is it gives you an additional 25 dB of gain. So if you have a preamp, for example, that can't provide a full 60 dB of gain, then yes, you might need a cloud lifter to help boost that signal. But as I'm using this microphone right now, I'm not using any cloud lifter. I just have this plugged directly into my preamp, and I'm getting plenty of gain to get a nice, healthy vocal signal for this mic. Most audio interfaces these days will be able to provide enough gain to get a suitable signal for this microphone. Now, this microphone has a bit of a built-in pop filter for it as well. You'll notice a little foam covering. So again, that's going to help cut down any plosives when you sing. Now, this microphone also has a few switches on the back of it as well. It has both a bass roll-off to help roll off that low end, and also a presence boost, which helps boost the mid and higher frequencies. And on the spec sheet for the SM7B, we can see there's a bit more of a dip in the lower range when compared to the SM58, and then fairly flat in the upper range as well. The down line you see here, so this would be if you applied the roll-off on the microphone with the switch on the back, and as well you can see where the presence boost would be affected too. So generally speaking, I would apply the roll-off when recording vocals unless you're going for a really deep and warm sound, and then I would leave that off. And the presence boost would depend a little bit on the vocals you're going for. If you want a nice bright kind of pop vocal, then the presence boost could be a good idea. So if you're looking for a dynamic microphone that's going to give you nice clean vocals, even when you're not in a perfectly treated space, the Shure SM7B is a great way to go. So I hope that helped give you a bit of information about these 3 microphones and which might be the best one for you. If you're going to be using these microphones to record into Logic Pro and want to speed up your workflow, make sure to download my free Logic Pro hotkey cheat sheet by following the link in the description below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.